What's going on, guys? Stefan, S&E's Garage. Today we're going to be replacing Bank 1 Sensor 1 on this 2010 Jeep Wrangler JKE. Alright guys, so we have two hard codes that keep setting in relation to this oxygen sensor. First and foremost, we have a P1128. And then we have a P0132. So we have a closed loop fueling not achieved Bank 1 Sensor 1, and then we have a Bank 1 Sensor 1 signal stuck high. Now every time I've checked this oxygen sensor with the scanner, I've always caught it working. It's switching lean rich, and it's right where it's supposed to be. It's not stuck in one direction or the other. So I'm not sure if we have an intermittent wiring problem or maybe an intermittent sensor issue. But the sensor is so cheap down at AutoZone. I picked this up for 30 bucks. It's a Bosch 15510. Usually I like using Denso or NTK, but this is a beater Jeep that we're literally going to, like I said, we're going to use it in the woods and we're going to tow jet skis with it now and then. So I don't really care as long as I can get the light off and get it to pass inspection. That's good with me. So we're going to go ahead and get this taken care of today. Now the easiest way to get your old oxygen sensor out and your new one in is going to be with an oxygen sensor wrench like this. This is a Blue Point, model numbers right there. I'll link one of these down in the description below. This thing has more than paid for itself. Used this thing thousands of times at the dealership with all the engines that I've done. But basically this end here plugs into your ratchet and you put it over the sensor. You put the wires through here and then you go ahead and break it loose. So let's get under there, break this loose, and then we'll get our new one in. So with the 3.8 Chrysler V6 here, Bank 1 is going to be passenger side, and Sensor 1 is going to be the one right off the manifold. So that sensor right there is our offending sensor. So we're going to go ahead and break that loose, and then the connector for it is right there. It's a nice and easy job here. All you have to do, I've already done this because I just did the EGR valve, but all you need to do is remove this fender liner, and it's right there. So let's go ahead and get it out. Yep, I'd say this oxygen sensor is definitely in need of replacement. Now these threads got a little boogered up coming out, so what we have here is a thread chaser for an oxygen sensor. So I'm just going to run this chaser here through that hole, clean those threads up. That way our new oxygen sensor threads right in with no problems. Alright guys, we went ahead and chased those threads. I'll put a link to one of these in the description below as well. These will save you a lot of money and save you from messing up your exhaust pipe or your new oxygen sensor, because now we know those threads are nice and clean. So we're going to go ahead, thread this bad boy in. Alright guys, we got our new sensor threaded in by hand. We're just going to go ahead with our wrench here and a ratchet, snug it down and plug it in. Alright guys, so what we have here is our X-Tool IP508. We use this on the channel for more or less, I leave this in my vehicle, so this has been in the Jeep since we bought it. And we basically just use this for clearing codes. If I'm doing anything more than that, I'm going to break out the D8. But what we're going to go ahead and do here is go into diagnosis. We're going to auto VIN, auto scan, and it's going to pull up our VIN number. And it's going to check for engine and transmission codes for us. We're going to do automatic scan. We don't need to start the engine. Just going to let it do its thing. You'll see we have our one code, which I'm willing to bet is probably our failure to reach closed loop fueling. There you go, closed loop fueling not achieved, Bank 1 upstream. And we saw that sensor was actually physically damaged, so I'm glad that we have our smoking gun there. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is go back. We're going to clear all the DTCs, and it's going to clear them. You'll see we do have one here for the occupant detection. That has to do with the clock spring. There is a recall for that. We're going to take care of that at a later date. I'm going to bring it to Jeep and let them do it. But you'll see here we got our codes cleared. Our powertrain module is clear. So let's put that splash shield back in, start her up, see how she is. It would usually code up within 2 or 3 ignition cycles. So if it stays off, then I think we're in good shape. Alright guys, here we are in our Wrangler. Just take a look at that mileage, 269,000 miles. Let's go ahead and straighten that wheel out. Let's go take it for a ride. make sure this engine light stays off. Alright guys, we just went for a ride, did a couple key cycles, and our light's still off, so I think we can go ahead and call this one fixed. So if this video helped you replace Bank 1 Sensor 1 on your 2007 to 2011 JK or JKU, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and down in the description below, I'll drop a link to the oxygen sensor, I'll drop a link to an oxygen sensor socket, and I'll also drop a link to an oxygen sensor tap. That way, should you need to clean the threads where your oxygen sensor goes, you can do that. So please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.